Alright, welcome back to Lou's PANOS version 10. Just kind of going through some of the different navigations. So we're going to be talking about how to use the Monitor tab of traffic. So one of the things you want to make sure under your policies, if you're using it as a tap or you're using it as a B-wire, however you're using it. So again, this is still kind of a default setup. I haven't really done much with it. So let's click on our rules, go under our actions, make sure we're logging at the end of the sessions is important. And you should also set up your alerts for your different profiles depending on your licensing that you have. So this way you can have this data there and collect it. So we're going to focus on the Monitor tab again under traffic. And here we can see, here's our different traffic. Again, anything that's highlighted here, we can see this data. And then we can choose, go to the columns, and we can unchoose columns. So like an example, I'm not using source user or not joined to a domain or anything like that. So I can turn that off. Again, so this way you can have less column, you can have more columns in here that will fit. Again, you can choose to do additional columns if you want to. So like an example, we can look at UDP, TCP, and let's say we want to see all our ICMP traffic. We can highlight that, hit the little arrow, and now it's going to sort of not by the IP but by the app ID. So here we can see here's all the different machines. We can see here's all the different ICMs. Here we can see the addresses that are pinging and what are they doing they're pinging. Here we can see the payloads. As we scroll through, we can see some of the different settings that not necessarily going to have values. Again, you may have different values in here showing up in these different categories. Like an example, if you're using additional licensing features and have it set to a domain where you're getting the usernames, you're going to get a lot more of that information. Or if you have multiple zones, you're going to see a lot more information because of that. So one of the other things I want to share with you guys, you can use you can save a filter, you can export it as a CSV, which is kind of nice. So what this will do is this will open it into basically a comma delimited file, which then you can open up in Excel or other utilities to pull this information. Like an example, if you have a very large file, you can use like bear grep to grab that information that you're interested in seeing. So here's a quick example. In like an example, if you're looking for traffic for a particular person, and here we go, we're going to open up in Excel. And here we go. Again, we can see all the different data. So you can see there's quite a bit of data there. And then we can make this more, and then we can just get rid of, we can then delete, stuff that's kind of not necessarily worthy. We can delete those columns just because they're, again, if we don't have any data like usernames, we don't have that stuff. It just makes it easier to now look at the data. So we can see here are some of the different times. And we can get rid of some of these different times. Again, there's some stuff that, unless you have a very sophisticated, where you have multiple virtual systems, you may want to keep that. If you're doing netting, you're going to have data there, but if you're not doing any netting, you're not going to have any data. So it doesn't necessarily hurt to delete some of that information, just so you have something easy to look at. So again, we can look at this data. It tells us which device it came from, how did it work, and then again, I've used this a lot times to track things down. So I'll export the data And then, like an example, if I'm looking at, not necessarily, I'm looking at an app ID, let's say someone's remote control on the PC in my building. When I see all the remote apps going, then I can start looking at for pattern traffic. So like I can say, or I can then filter out just, you know, that app with my PC, and then just slowly bring all the other machines traffic going in and out. So then maybe I could start putting them together 2 and 2 and see if this makes sense. You can also highlight, you can also, you know, again, you can sort your data by however. You know, so if you want to sort this, you could sort this. It's been a while since I've used Excel, but again, I just wanted to share this with you guys so you know how this works. And again, we can take ICM, we can say, let's see all the ICMs that are going to this IP. And there we go. We can see now, here's our destinations. Here's all our different devices that are pinging this IP. And then we could, you know, essentially go in there and look at this stuff. And where we can click here and see, here's the detail log of the packet. So here we can see all the different information about this packet. So here's all the metadata of this packet. That makes it nice. Alright, so that's just kind of a quick little rundown. Again, we can make it by rules. If I had multiple rules, we can say which one would match this rule or not match this rule. If I remember correctly, I think it's and then since I don't have any rules, we won't see anything here. So it just makes sense. And then we can save these if these are common things that we're searching for all the time. We could just then add a filter and save it and then have it again for later in life. Or we could actually just go in here and create a new filter. Again, we could take the connectors, ands, and ors, and then just sort through all these, you know, additional information we wanted to sort by. And then we could add the values to it. And then we can also change this from manual to 10 seconds. So this will update the data every 10 seconds if we want to. So that's a quick little snippet of using the traffic app on the Palo Alto. Alright, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.